Everybody, welcome to Championship Matchweek 21. 21 games into the season. If I don't sound right, it's because I'm not exactly 100% right now, but I'll do my best. So let's briefly cover last week. Liam, how many points did you get?
Well, I'd just like to mention, including score of the week, which was bang on. Adam Armstrong, thank you very much. I also got a 3-pointer with a game that you heavily doubted my prediction would come in. Preston Coventry 1-1, spot on. Couldn't be more delighted with that.
Yes, I also got a 3-pointer, but I had only one 3-pointer. Obviously, nowhere near the amount of points you got. Uh, so that puts Liam only 8 behind me now. He is really catching up, and I need to have a good week this week. Otherwise, that lead that I held for most of the season is going to evaporate. So let's get on with this one, and I shall start first. So West Brom versus Sheffield United is the Friday night fixture. West Brom, they lost last time around to Southampton, but they went from 3-0 to 3-2, so it was close. Sheffield United dropping points to Norwich. I look at this one and I think um, Sheffield United will probably edge this one 1-2.
Yeah, I don't totally disagree. I've said it many times. I don't think Ryan Mason. I don't think his philosophy is the way forward for West Brom. Um, I think drawing at home to Norwich is a bit of a low point um, in the last few weeks for Sheffield United. So I think I'm just going to go 2-2, another 1-1 draw for Sheffield.
Now for Norwich versus Southampton.
Well, the Norwich have already lost to Southampton at home this season. That was 3-0, if memory serves me correctly.
Correct.
I don't think it'll be the exact same scoreline, but I do think the result will be no different. Norwich have won at home now, finally, by the way. Um, I'm gonna back Southampton for a slim 2-1 victory.
Yeah, I think Norwich is starting to pick up a bit, and Southampton still continue their ascent up the table. Um, I think this will have 3 goals for Southampton again, but I'm going to give 1 goal to Norwich, 1-3. Now on to Oxford versus Preston. Um, both teams last time around drew, and because Oxford are at the Kassam Stadium, I think I'm going to give them a slight edge here, 2-1 to Oxford.
Now, this is a game where you feel like Preston will be massively disappointed in themselves come full time. Um, I've I've blocked it. I've gone for a 0-0.
Has to happen at some point. Um, Now on to Stoke versus Swansea.
Swansea, looking better, a little bit resurgent. Um, Stoke, quite the opposite. I think they'll bounce back. Um, just in time for Christmas, maybe. But I'm still concerned about Stoke. So I think this 2-1 victory that I've predicted will be massive for them.
Yeah, Stoke losing last time around, and Swansea started to pick up form now, beating Portsmouth midweek. and I'm gonna have to back Stoke here. 2 goals to 0. And now for Birmingham versus Charlton. Birmingham last time around lost to QPR, and Charlton lost to Middlesbrough. That was my 3 pointer last week. So cheers Middlesbrough for that. But this one again, I'm not going to back Charlton here. I think Birmingham is just too strong at home at the moment, and I think they'll score 3-1.
And that was a dramatic ending at Loftus Road. 93rd minute equaliser for the Blues, and then for Rangers, a 97th minute winner. So, what a way to win the league, as you would expect, judging by how QPR fans celebrated. I think, yeah, I've gone for 3 goals for Birmingham as well. But I'm going to take off that Charlton goal. I've gone 3-0.
Okay, now on to Coventry v Bristol City.
Now is another masterminded prediction coming towards a Coventry game. I don't think so. I've gone very plain for this one. I'd be shocked if this gives me 3 points, but I'm hoping it gives me minimum one. I've gone 1-0 Coventry.
I think Coventry, as of late, are starting to maybe drop off a bit. Only 1 point in their last 2 games. Is that showing signs of complacency? Who knows? But for this one, I think Coventry will return to winning ways here. 2 goals to 0. Now on to Leicester versus Ipswich. Leicester last time around drew, and Ipswich last time around won. Leicester are at home, but I think, personally, I think Ipswich will go into this as the favourites, and I think the scoreline will demonstrate why they're the favourites. I have gone 1-2.
Yeah, I'm just going to say as it is. I've gone the exact same scoreline. I just don't think Leicester will match Ipswich in the slightest. Really, they're becoming the team to be scared of now, aren't they, Ipswich? So yeah, 2-1 to the to the away side.
Okay, and now on to Middlesbrough v QPR.
I don't know. Every time QPR never fail to prove me wrong. I'm just going to. I'm going to back Middlesbrough. Kim Helberg's new side scoring goals for fun a lot of the time. So 2-0.
Well, yeah, last time around, both teams won. I think both teams won 2-1. And I think this will be a 2-1 again, but for Middlesbrough. So I've put 2-1 Middlesbrough for that one. Now for Millwall versus Hull. Millwall last time around drawing away to Derby. Hull, they won against Wrexham. This is at the Den, and I am going to give a slight edge to Millwall 2-1.
Yeah, I can't go against Millwall at the Den right now with the form that they're in. Um, However, I think if Wednesday was anything to show for Millwall, they are not going to find it easy to score against Hull. So I've gone another 0-0.
Now on to Portsmouth v Blackburn.
This is one of those games for Blackburn where they, if they come away without a point, they will sort of feel like they've wasted a brilliant opportunity. I've been saying for a couple of weeks now, January couldn't come quick enough for Portsmouth. So, yeah, Blackburn should be the team to back here. but I'm very reluctantly going to say a Portsmouth 1-0 win.
Oh God. I mean, with Portsmouth, I mean, probably the worst or one of the worst teams in the Championship right now. Um, I think it's becoming quite a divided club. Um, Obviously, there's the whole fiasco around the manager, performances. There's a lot of, would you say, disdain at that club at the moment?
I just don't think
Yeah.
Mourinho is the one to take the club any further than surviving relegation.
I think this is the kind of game where if Portsmouth, I think both teams will see this as an opportunity to get a win. But Portsmouth, especially because they're at home, they're going to look at this one and think, if we don't win this one, we could be in big trouble. And I feel like if they don't win this, Mourinho's in huge pressure at least. But I'm hesitant, but I'm going to give a slight 2-1 Portsmouth win, but it could go anyway. Uh, and now on to Wrexham versus Watford. Wrexham lost, Watford drew. And this is at the racecourse. And I am going to give a slight win to Wrexham here, 2-1.
Well, before even predicting a score, I look at who's at home and I look at who's away. And Wrexham are the home side against dismal Watford away side. So already that swayed me one direction. But I'll come back to this, and you'll know why. But with that, the two central defenders at Watford, I think even a Wrexham side who line up with Kiefer Moore up front, who I can't say I'm a big fan of. Um, I I think that's just a very nice uh, a very nice few goals to be put on a plate for them. So I've gone 3-1 to Wrexham.
And now let's move to Monday night. Sheffield Wednesday versus Derby.
So I mentioned in the previous uh, round that I'll touch on Sheffield Wednesday, thinking that their next win isn't far away. Now, I think you must be a pretty pathetic team to lose to Sheffield Wednesday this season. Truth be told, Watford nearly fell under that bracket. Uh, so, I mean, yeah, it's hard to back Wednesday, but you look at their opponents and you just think charity. Last few years, Derby have been a side to help out those in need. So I think they're definitely the charity club in the division this year. Um, and I mean, history has been in favour of Wednesday in this fixture, and this is such a big mistake. But I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to back a 2-1 home win.
Ooh, that's bold. Um, Sheffield Wednesday, obviously seconds away from winning at Watford. Derby, um, they're being plagued with injuries at the moment, and also starting to fall down the table a bit. Um, if Derby don't win this, I think would there be a case of Derby looking nervously over their shoulder again, perhaps? I don't think so. I think Derby will win this 2-1. And now for scorer of the week. Liam, do you want to start?
Well, I'm going to go back to what I said about Watford. While I think they have a couple of good fullbacks, um, I think it's the two defenders in the middle of them that's the problem. So, Watford have um, one of the best midfielders in the league, who hasn't been at it so much recently, but Imran Loser is certainly up there with the best in the league. So, so you feel like maybe the ball won't get to the Wrexham strikers as much as you'd expect because Loser will be trying to dictate that midfield in Watford colours. So I feel like, and this is a completely ridiculous prediction, but I feel like a few Wrexham midfielders can, will feel like they can take pot shots at the Watford goal because I quite truthfully don't rate Nathan Baxter in goal either. Um, so I've stupidly gone George Dobson.
For me, I'm picking someone who is currently out of form, not scoring in the last five, but with Birmingham, um, they're they're just too strong at home for me to ignore them. And the player I'm backing for score of the week is Jay Stansfield. I feel like the Charlton game, like, would see as an opportunity to get back on the score sheet, and I think once he gets his goal, I reckon he'll get a couple. Um, so yeah, he is my pick for scorer of the week. Now, I believe that is all for this one, and we shall see you for number 22. Goodbye.